Do you measure a success rate, Dave, in terms of how many people are able to reintegrate into quote unquote a normal life? And I only say that because for all of us, certainly not in an issue of combat, but certainly in the last couple of years in the age of COVID, we've all been sort of forced to look at things differently. So what is your success rate in terms of how many people come through your program and are able to reintegrate back into society?
Well, I will say we're working on developing a better metric system. And in all honesty, when we began, we didn't even want to keep record. Our big emphasis was telling us, look, everything's confidential. We're not going to, you don't have to worry about this going up the chain if you're still in the military, or if you're a veteran, for instance, that's gone into law enforcement, first responder. You can come to us and we keep it all confidential. We have learned we do need to provide a metric system and a way to inform our donors. This is what's happening within our community. What we have been able to find and develop over the last couple of years is if you compare us to, for instance, an addiction recovery type program, even keeping guys in a 30-day program, the national averages are running about 15 to 25%, depending on who you listen to, just keeping them in the program for the 30 days. Our program is at least 6 months long. So to keep someone in the program that long is incredible, but our success rate there and just getting them graduated and through our program is about twice what the national average is in keeping them through the time. So we're very proud of that. The other way, this may sound a little much for some people to hear, but honestly, our first goal is to keep that veteran alive for one more day.
One day at a time.
Yeah, our program is the get your hands dirty. We'll crawl through the window when veterans in crisis. We'll do whatever we have to do to get to somebody. So our first goal is just keep them alive for one more day. And in that realm, when you look at it that way, with over 1,600 veterans who've come into our program for some period of time, we have lost some since then, but it's maybe 7 or 8, 9 or 10 guys that we've lost. That's a number that no one in the nation's been able to come close to.
What happens? So I'm here in Seattle. I have a family member who has returned from a war zone, definitely is dealing with some issues. And so here in Seattle, where would I go? How would I get a hold of somebody that would be affiliated with PTSD Foundation of America? And if our viewers are kind of all over the country. So anyone out there, if they're seeing this, how would they get in touch with someone if they themselves are a veteran and dealing with this issue, or if they have a family member?
There's a couple of ways. We do have an entire outreach team that this is what they're dedicated to, is helping those veterans and their families. So the first way is our crisis line. And we do say it is a crisis line. It's for if someone's in imminent trouble, someone's contemplating harming themselves. We have a crisis line that's answered 24/7 by a combat veteran. And that number is 877-717-7873. Anyone can call that any time of day, and a combat vet will answer the phone. We will help them navigate through that. If we have someone in the area, we will deploy someone to that individual's house as quick as we possibly can. We've driven to Kansas from Houston, as fast as we can get there. We've done all kinds of things. Also, we now have a lot of veterans across the country who've come through our program. We can reach out to them, and many of them will step in and go find that veteran who's struggling. And they find a lot of purpose in that. The other way to reach out, and probably the more common way, when we're not concerned that they're swallowing a bottle of pills right this minute, our website, which is ptsdusa.org. They can go on there, click on Camp Hope. All the information is there about our program, about our support groups that we run across the nation. Sometimes that's helpful enough. They can just attend those weekly groups, get connected with some other combat vets. We can do the one-on-one through phone, through Zoom. whatever we need to do. And if they are in an area where we are able to run groups, obviously we invite them into those. But the website's a great way to connect and learn a lot more information about how do I get help. And I have to say this, you just mentioned as a family member, many times it's a family member that first reaches out and first starts to get educated and get the help that they need to know how to help their loved one. So we run family support groups in conjunction with our warrior support groups. And those can also be done through our Zoom program. We have one that runs weekly on Zoom. So anyone, anywhere in the country, you've got a loved one, family member of any type, and they're struggling, and we encourage you, ptsdusa.org, get involved in those Zoom groups. You will learn a lot about what to do and what not to do to help your loved one. And a lot of times it's more about what not to do than it is what to do.
Can you repeat that hotline number again once more, David?
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's 877-717-7873 or PTSD. It's a lot of sevens, but 877-717-7873.
So how many chapters do you think, Dave, are across the country?
We're in several cities. We're in Dallas, we're in San Antonio, got a group down in Rockport. We're in Phoenix, Arizona. We run a group in Southern California, Atlanta, Georgia, and Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. And just kind of an odd question to ask, but while you're mentioning that, do you try and have meetings or your locations for your outreach near any bases, military bases, or have you reached out to the military bases themselves in terms of knowing that you're available to help veterans or people that are still in service?
Well, certainly. In fact, we just had a guy graduate from our program and went back to his unit in Georgia. He graduated probably about 2 months ago now. But we do serve those who are still in the military, and that's all dependent upon their chain of command. Some are more willing to go outside of their military system than others. But if they really are interested in helping their men, their women, they are more than happy to get them the help that they need. We're happy to help.
And certainly veterans of armed services, I would think would be the bulk of who you are dealing with, but also would you say that law enforcement also across the country, you deal with anyone from law enforcement agencies at all?
Oh, absolutely. We do. We actually run a first responders group through Zoom on Monday nights.
Oh,
So
wow.
every Monday night, there's a group available for all first responders. And that includes, I think people are more aware of this now because of COVID, but that includes, people working in emergency rooms, and they deal with traumas as well. So we do run a first responders group on Monday night through Zoom.
And if someone wanted to join that Zoom group, Dave, how would they get involved with that?
Same thing, go to our website, ptsdusa.org. It has the information there for all of our groups and how you can connect with the first responder group. They can actually contact in or get connected into that Zoom group without divulging any of their information. I know many of them are very concerned about their jobs and abilities to move up the chain within their jobs. So it's absolutely 100% confidential.
Anonymity is very important in anything like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. Obviously, this is a big operation, much bigger than I even thought before we talked today. And in that regard, how would someone get a hold of the PTSD Foundation of America if they wanted to help out either financially or organize an event to help you?
Well, interesting you mentioned that, because all of our funding to date has been through other people doing fundraisers for us. We've never run our own fundraiser ever. And 12 years ago, we didn't own a paperclip. And now we've got a 5-acre property with housing for 90 guys and office buildings and all kinds of things. So it's just been other people doing fundraisers for us: chili cook-offs, barbecue cook-offs, crawfish boils, fun runs, everything you can imagine. And again, our website's the best way to connect through that. There's a form where they can fill out of what they're wanting to do. And once they get that approved, then we give them all the information that they need, our tool set that we can give to them to help them raise funds. And we have a team that's dedicated to helping them do that. So our website is the way to do that. Guess I should also mention our social media is a great way for people to be connected with us on the more of the day-to-day. We try to keep our website updated as often as we possibly can, but the social media sites are all PTSD USA, and it's a great way to follow us on a daily basis.
So obviously we're discussing something that's, I guess, a little heavier than what our normal conversations are here, and just kind of go through this. What do you like to do for fun when you're not working for the PTSD Foundation? What is your passion outside of this, Dave?
This pretty much consumes my life, honestly.
Oh,
Though
yeah.
and that's on me. That's not the organization's fault. It's just my choice. We have a great team that works really, really hard. But we do a lot of we do a number of fishing excursions. On occasion, we do get to go out and do whether it's clay shoots, or sometimes it's take a group of guys and let's go kill some hogs, whatever it may have. We have a feral hog problem in Texas. I don't know.
Yes. Yes.
Don't know.
We're aware of that.
Yeah, about 1,000 times probably.
Yeah.
But every now and then they get to have a little what they call gun range therapy, and they enjoy that immensely.
That's great. That's great. I know that there is here in the West Coast area, there's a lot of wounded vets organizations that work to get them out on the water, get them out in the field, to experience outdoors, which is really, for me, probably has been more of a lifesaver than anything, just being in the outdoors and being able to experience that sort of quiet and nature that, comes from a higher power for sure. So very, very good. Dave, again, just give us the number again in case someone has a family member or they themselves want to reach out to you.
Absolutely. And that number is 877-717-7873. And I cannot emphasize enough, it is a combat veteran that's going to answer the phone. It's not someone just reading answers off of a clipboard.
Right. Yeah.
This is someone that's been there, done that, has the t-shirt. They know it inside and out. Plus, they've also, after completing our program, have received a great deal of training, suicide training, suicide prevention training. So they're trained, but these are guys who've been there. Yeah.
That shared experience is something that is absolutely essential in anything that goes into a neurological situation like this, I believe. By the way, I'm not a psychologist, but believe it at that. Yeah. Well, Dave Mosby from the PTSD Foundation of America. We're right before Thanksgiving here and the holidays. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us and kind of share with our readers and our viewers about the PTSD Foundation. It's a little off the track of what we normally talk about, but this may be one of the most important programs we've ever done, and I really, really thank you very, very much.
Well, I am grateful for the opportunity to share our story. I just, suicide obviously is a very dark subject, so we like to tell folks we're stopping that. We're putting guys back into the lives of their family, back as productive citizens. It's a good story when we're able to get involved. So thank you for the opportunity.
Oh yeah, and we may get back to you again for follow-up or just kind of see how things are going with you.
Anytime.
And I know that there's a couple of rockers out there that have done fundraisers for vets here, and I'm sure they'll be doing that again here in the next few months once people are able to get back out on tour again.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate it.
Thank you.